Hello everyone, this is NHL Hopkins Reports, and today we're talking about 7 teams that need help in goal. Now 7 teams that need a nice, good goaltender. Now I'm not talking about one that's going to want 10 million bucks and one's going to be around maybe 29, 30 years old like Hopi. No, I'm not talking about that. Maybe, but I want someone younger. But what team really needs goaltending help? And look at this right now. Which teams right now are in the playoffs? Well, Senators aren't currently. The Sharks aren't currently. The Oilers are yes. Kings, nope. Devils, nope. Sabres, potentially. Well, you can say that for the Sharks too. And Nashville potentially, but right now, nope. Looking at that, let's start off with the Ottawa Senators. Now, I think this year Craig Anderson's been just a little bit better, but yes, he's 38 years old with 312 goals against average. Andreas Nielsen here, 29, he has 318 goals against average, and Marcus Harsberg, sorry about that, 25 years old, and he has a 323 goals against average. Now, the team right now is a rebuilding. And you totally understand, but you want to get good goaltending so this team can have a great core. You want to build that core so it can go for decades. Maybe 1 decade, 2 decades. You want to have a good core. When you rebuild, some rebuilds are bad. Some rebuilds you just gotta try, and then they just don't become anything. Like the Oilers, and they just fall up, down, and they just don't get that rebuild. Sometimes you need that best rebuild, and when you get that rebuild, that great core, that number 1 first overall pick, you add that, then you have your other picks, you put them together, that young team, you get your core. That's what they're doing right now. And they're trying, we'll see how Harburg does, he's done okay job, we'll see how he does. Then the next is the Sharks, and Jones is 29 years old right now. He has a 319 goals against average. Last year we saw him take a step down, and so is this year too. Hasn't been the best goaltender at all. And they have Aaron Dell, who's 30 years old with a 299 goals against average, almost 3.0 goals against average. But looking at that, the Sharks haven't been good this year. Talking about Burns, Carlson, they've been okay. The team just hasn't been. I think they've been one of the most disappointing teams along with Nashville Predators this year. If you didn't know that Nashville did fire the coach, I did do a video on that, latest one, so if you want to check that out, you can. I don't know that they haven't said if a new coach has came in currently when I'm recording this video. But let's get back to the Sharks. Went off there a little. They fired the coach, right? Pete DeBoer. And, they brought in Bob Bucknell, who's been the interim coach for now until the end of the year, and then they'll see who's made good decisions. But they haven't been well. They need better goaltending. Now, moving on to the Oilers, of course, they're in the playoffs right now, currently. They went really well, and they struggled, and they're kind of finding their way back. But they're in the playoffs right currently. Now, Mikko Koskinen is 31 years old with 285 goals against average. Yes, I would say he has improved from last year to this year. I would have to say there's been a big improvement. I've been very happy with that. Yes, he has. Now, Mike Smith started off really well. 37-year-old with 301 goals against average, started really well and then kind of dipped. And he has to kind of find his game, but he's getting back to that. But I think the Oilers after, Smith, who knows if he's going to retire. He's 37, next year. So do you want to get that young, good goaltender who's going to help you, looks like is Koskinen help you win the Stanley Cup? Probably not. So who's going to win the Stanley Cup with Draisaitl and McDavid? Okay? Who's going to be that guy, that young goaltender? That's what I mean. They need one. Now moving on now to the LA Kings. They have Jonathan Quick, who was a Stanley Cup champion, not once, but twice. He's 33 now with 305 goals against average, and through those playoffs in 2012 and 14, winning those Stanley Cups, he was a big backbone to that team. And he's one of the players that you can exemplify how to win a Stanley Cup and how to have a fantastic goaltender in the playoffs. But now he's getting older, the core's getting older. They need a new core. The Stanley Cup core is going to go away, and they are rebuilding currently. But he has a 305 goals against average this year, and last year hasn't been the best years for him. And now we have Campbell too, who's 27 years old, has a 292 goals against average. But this Cal Pedersen, Two, I think he'll be really good. So maybe that's the guy. But these are 17 struggling goal. Then moving on to the Devils is Blackwood. He's 23 years old, a 283 goals against average. He's had to kind of take over that role. Schneider can't really do anything, and they traded away Kincaid, and then Blackwood took over with Schneider this season. Like, oh, we'll be a good duo. Hopefully something will happen. We'll get in the soup in. We need to make the playoffs. They said the Hudson rival is back. They're like before, excuse me now, between the Rangers and the Devils. What a great Hudson rival this will be. And they were like, you have Subban versus Panarin, and you have a great Hudson rival. Not really. This year hasn't shown that. Subban hasn't been good enough. The Devils, period, haven't been good enough. You know why? Because they even had to trade away Hall. That's how bad it was. And having Louis Domingue after sending Schneider to the AHL because he didn't play good enough. One thing about Schneider is, he was very good goaltender. I remember when Schneider was better than the rest of his team, and he deserved to be in the playoffs. But no one else did on the Devils team. This year, he doesn't deserve any of that. And then you bring in Louis Domingue from the Lightning. He hasn't been the best. Of course, he catches actually right instead of left. So the goaltending is different. How many goaltenders right now in the NHL actually catch right instead of left? Well, if your catches right, that means you're a lefty for goaltending. Now, if you're a righty, you catch left for it. So that means like all the goaltenders, right? Think of all of them. They all catch left. Well, pretend you're all the goaltender. They catch left. From the other side, it looks like they're catching right. Correct? But a lot of goaltenders do not catch from the right. It's different because when shooters come on, they're like, wait, the blocker's from the left, not the right? And they're like, wait, the glove's there. But, it's a little different and you get used to it very quickly. But, who is the other goaltender? Remember Steve Mason, Troy Lindgren, back up from Montreal right now? A couple of teams, well, Steve Mason's not around anymore, but just a couple goaltenders out there that have currently, in the last couple of years, have that right glove, catches right instead of left. Which is, unique. Moving on to the Buffalo Sabres. Carter Hutton, 34 years old, a 323 goals against average. We have Elias Salmo because he's 26, and he's a 283 goals against average. What is that goaltender right now for the Sabres right now? He's a young one, I think it's Luukkonen or something, who's actually looked really good. They're taking his time with it, which makes it a lot of sense. Sabres got really high in the beginning, and they dropped. With the Phil Housley team last year, coach there, and he got, fired because of what he did. But still, Ralph Kruger, same thing. High up, they're riding high with the goaltending, everyone's doing hard, and then they kind of fall. And big up for Elite that was trying to show, come on, move that needle, do the playoffs, come on. With Montreal too, come on, we need to do it. So that's the thing. You start really high, thinking to make the playoffs, and then you just find yourself at the end of the season like, I don't even know what happened. You need to do better next year. And hopefully that doesn't happen to them this year, we'll see. But we'll see. Moving on to the Nashville Predators, a team that actually fired the coach today, Peter Laviolette. And they also fired McCarthy, part of the coaching staff too. So 2 coaches are gone, head coach and assistant coach. So Rene, 37 years old, he's getting older. With 298 goals against average, and then you have UC Salvos with 24 years old with 325 goals against average. Now the thing is, I think we all thought in the beginning of the season, if Rene did not play well, guess who would be taken over? UC Salvos. Okay, UC Salvos, you take over these games. Rene hasn't played well. Yeah, we'll give it to UC Salvos. He does well. Now I think really what pushed the needle over, almost, I'm pretty sure, and in that game after, was the Winter Classic. That game and the game after they played, I forgot who they played against. I think it was last night or something. They lost or something. That Winter Classic, they were up to nothing. They had that good 5-on-3. And by the way, Dallas had good defense. Even though they scored the 2 power play goals, they were basically given to that. Like, alright, you could have just said, okay, Bishop, go leave the net right now and try to score. Literally. Right? 5-on-3. Come on. If you can't score on a 5-on-3, you're pretty bad. Okay? And they scored 2 goals. Okay, and that's what they were able to do. Even on that power play, it was just they couldn't get the puck off the boards. boards. Swing the puck around the boards is good, but if it doesn't get off the boards, you have trouble, and they had trouble. I don't feel like they, and Dallas were pushing them, and I don't think Nashville had a good power play at all. Things were just, adding Duchesne to some doesn't look good enough. Just the team wasn't working well, and Rene played really well for the first and the second until he let those 2 goals, and then he made it 2-0, 2-2, 2-1, 2-2, and then 3-2, and then 4-2, right? But fell apart in the third there for Nashville, and they tried a little, but I don't think they knew what they were doing, and I think coaching change was beneficial. So with the goaltending here, I think we all expected UC Soros to say, okay, Rena,